But let's go ahead and talk about this Kevin Durant situation. So, well, let's fast track. Let's rewind. So KD got traded to the Houston Rockets. Let's talk about that first. It was supposed to be like one of the last things, but I really want to delve into that. So the Rockets acquired KD, and all it really took was Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, and some draft picks. Am I correct? I think that's what it took, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The raw picks.
The Suns played him, I think, because he got hurt when he got drafted. Well, not drafted, when he got traded there. I think he only produced like under like 150 games with a Suns uniform on. And they got to the playoffs twice during that time period. Once getting knocked out in the second round by Denver, and then obviously getting swept by the Timberwolves a couple years ago. And then last season, they didn't make the playoffs at all, partially because he was hurt. Let me go ahead and pull up this screen real quick. Let's go here. Pull up this screen real quick. So he gets traded to the Phoenix Suns. They got Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, a number 10 overall pick of this past draft, and 5 second rounders. Now, real quick before like we go any further, I think this is like a massive like flex on Houston's part. The fact that I could tell the Phoenix Suns, nigga, you not getting your shit back. Like Debo and niggas in Phoenix, like you gonna give me the better part of the deal, and you not getting anything of what you wanted. Like the Phoenix Suns, for you guys that do not know, the Phoenix Suns hold the Houston Rockets first round picks. Not the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets holds the Phoenix Suns first round picks for the next, I want to say like 4 or 5 years. And the Suns were in conversations to dealing KD to the Houston Rockets partially with the intention of getting their draft assets back for them to still have their future intact. So the fact that Houston was able to get what they wanted, what they needed, and they were also able to tell Phoenix, you gonna give me that, and you gonna take whatever I give you and like it. That's a flex on my part. But even still, Houston gets a 37-year-old. KD is still a bucket getter of the highest order, one of the greatest scorers of all time. Still putting forth seasons that are either 50-40-90 or on the cusp of 50-40-90. And he's just that. He's an offensive savant. The part that I want to talk about when it comes to this trade overall is primarily the thought process that KD is going to the Houston Rockets, and that ultimately makes them the trump card to what OKC got going on, to what Dallas got going on, quiet as kept, to what San Antonio is building, to what Denver's building. Oh, well, what Denver built. This doesn't do shit for Houston in the grand scheme of things. KD, as I mentioned, is a bucket getter. But Houston had much more bigger problems on the offensive end than just getting a bucket getter. That wasn't like the crux of their issue. It was primarily, in my opinion, the fact that they didn't have enough guard play on the perimeter. I love what Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks was doing in terms of being like pseudo floor spacers. Obviously, Sengun playing that Pau Gasol role in Memphis, where Pau Gasol was sort of like the facilitator of an offense, but he wasn't the lead facilitator, right? Like obviously, like that goes to Fred VanVleet. And so I like what they got going on in terms of the personnel, but I always felt the biggest move that Houston could do was getting Devin Booker, not KD, because they have a slew of front court pieces that are more than versatile, more than advantageous, more than impactful to be able to offset what majority of the league is providing. But they didn't have that guard play. That was supposed to be Jalen Green. As my people in here can be able to testify, I have been stating for the last couple of years that Jalen Green is a fucking terrorist. he cannot shoot consistently. He is not consistent at slashing, even though he's quite literally probably like a top 10 athlete in the entire association. And yet he does not utilize it the way in which you would need it to be to value him as like one of the league's most elite like guards. But Devin Booker is one of the best when it comes to tough shot making. He's one of the best off-ball three-point shooters, one of the best off-ball mid-range scorers, especially coming off of pin downs, which we saw Ime Udoka use very frequently with Sengun. He's also one of the best when it comes to slashing and creating opportunities for others. At least he has grown into that over the last couple of seasons. And so I felt like for a team like Houston, Devin Booker is just like a perfect slide in, right? Like you just put him at the 2 guard. Oh, hey, Nara, you wouldn't subscribe to me? Oh, this some bullshit. Nah, that's crazy.
I didn't even know. I'm subscribed to your other channels though.
That is crazy. Well, hey, this is low key fitting because nigga, you heard the alert. I forgot I had put that there. Nigga just put the aha instrumental there. That's crazy. Nah, but I feel like Devin Booker was like a perfect like fit for that, right? But you put KD there, and even though I do like KD, it sort of gives slight redundancy in terms of like versatility and what Jabari Smith Jr. was supposed to be growing into. And I thought that on the back end of the season, even though Ime tried his damnedest to fucking sabotage this dude, Jabari Smith Jr. dead ass was like giving versatility on the perimeter. He was knocking down shots against the Warriors. He was also being the like literally the definition of versatile defensively in terms of like guarding on the perimeter while also guarding in the front court, guarding at the rim, particularly because Sengun was getting played out of position left and right. And so I feel like when KD's there, I don't know what Jabari Smith Jr. is going to be asked to do. I don't even know Jabari Smith Jr.'s starting spot is going to be protected with this move because I don't like Jabari at the 3 because Jabari is 6'11" and he's not as quick as Amen Thompson at the 3. And that brings me to another thing. Amen Thompson playing the 2 guard spot is not being talked about enough. That is an issue because that means you're doubling down on KD being your sole floor spacer, especially with you trading Dillon Brooks. You need it's also be Jabari Smith Jr. You're doubling down on Jabari Smith Jr. and KD being your sole floor spacers because I know you ain't asking Fred VanVleet to be that. And Amen Thompson ain't there.
They might start DFS because the DFS is what their second best floor spacer outside of like KD, maybe Fred.
I hope so.
I would start DFS.
But they talking about his project. They talking about his projected. The projected starter is gonna have Jabari Smith Jr. there. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think they're Jabari. But again, I do kind of because they have a lot of players on that team. Like I'm looking at a lot of forwards that are very similar, and it's definitely a little redundant. But I got a different opinion. I think this KD trade makes them very comfortably the second or best team in the Western Conference. When you look at their weaknesses last year, consistent floor spacing, shot creating, just overall scoring in the half court, Kevin Durant. It doesn't get much better than Kevin Durant when it comes to consistently floor spacing your team, shot creation, scoring in the half court, and even defensively, like that length and size that they have and versatility, the different lineups they can throw at you. They can throw a double big lineup and go up there with KD and DFS and Fred and still have enough floor spacing and just have all that length and size and versatility. It's going to be hell for anybody to try to score on them niggas. So I'm liking what Houston is doing. Then when you factor in their free agency, they brought everybody back pretty much. They pretty much went in and got another big in Clint Capella, which he's regressed, but he's still solid enough to the point of which they can low-key have double big lineups anytime they want now and kill everybody on the glass. So I like what Houston is doing. It's a bit redundant, but I think it's worth it, honestly.
Anybody else want to go before I say what I was gonna say? Anybody else want to say something?
I think it's 2-4.
Nigga just gave himself an intro. What the fuck? It's 2-4.
I think that puts them in contention. I do believe they do need another guard back to ball handle and create and half court a little bit, because I'm not too sure how much Reed Shepherd could do that right now. It's gonna be year 2. I don't think they're that high on Cam Whitmore anymore. I believe they should be playing him. If anyone at the 2 is Cam Whitmore, but I don't know what they're going to do with that. I think they need to make one more move for a guard to solidify like their ball handling situations. Cause I think that's another issue.
Yeah,
like how much ball handlers do they have with teams like the Thunder? They run into like pressuring them and shit in the half court. They need players to break down and half court defenses.
Yeah.
If anybody has it, but I think Houston is in a position where they're not really worried, because like they can make any move they want pretty much. Like they still have the Suns picks, they still have a lot of draft capital.
Yeah.
If they want to go get a Kobe White, they can go get a Kobe White pretty easily. And they have so many players that are like so redundant on the wing that they can throw one of those players in to go get a high level guard. That's what I'm saying. They're in a great position. They can chill out, see how this works. If they need more guard play at the trade deadline or even before that, they can easily make a move and get like a Kobe White type of player, and that'll fit perfectly.
Yeah, Kobe White. I ain't gonna lie to you. They get Kobe White, my entire like theory just gets thrown out the window, because I'm not gonna hold you. Kobe White on this team, man, get Fred VanVleet the fuck up out of here at that point, man. Because I like Amin Thompson in terms of like his downhill play, and I think he could develop more as a playmaker. I just think he's not necessarily able to do that just yet, because Fred VanVleet is still there. But you take him out of there, it's sort of demanding that certain level of standard for like Amin to meet, and I think he has the capability of doing it. But as currently constructed, bro, I'm just saying, bro, like we talk a lot, Nari, about like when it came to the Bucks, there needs to be a certain level that the player that is there that's going to be like sort of leading you on the offensive end, you have to be able to sort of camouflage into whatever your team needs you to be based on each team that you face, right? And we saw the Bucks like get knocked out by Indiana, because even with Giannis being excellent, it wasn't exactly what we needed from him nor our players to be able to like maintain that like supersede whatever Indiana was throwing at us, right? I feel like the same thing can be stated for like this Rockets team with KD, especially like it's not like I don't think that they can lock down teams like OKC did. It's that OKC had a certain style that could be able to like come alive at some point. I feel like the best answer that KD is going to provide is just getting more buckets. Like you're going to ask him to be more of a facilitator. His response is getting more buckets. You're going to ask him to be more of a screener in the offense. His answer is going to be to pick and pop so that he could get more buckets. Like, it's just like, once you take away the scoring aspect, I don't know if KD's going to give enough of this Rockets team for them to be able to trump over a team like Denver, who we saw against OKC. Their offense, even if the efficiency dips to like a significant level, it's still chugging along under the circumstances. Or like against the Minnesota Timberwolves, how do we know that their defense is going to supersede what Minnesota's defense is going to provide along with their offense? Like, I feel like at this point, it's almost like malpractice to assume that Minnesota's offense just is not going to translate. And so like, that's the concern that I have. But I agree with you that I think Houston is going to be a top 2 seed in the Western Conference this year. Especially understand, I believe Dallas is up there in terms of the best teams in the Western Conference, but that's under the thought process of them being healthy. And with AD and Kyrie's ACL injury, it's hard to, or Achilles injury, it's hard to say that they're going to be healthy going down the stretch. So that's why I don't think that they'll be the number 2 seed. I'll probably give it to Houston and then Denver, LA down the stretch.